Hello, Warriors. Good turnaround Tuesday. Hi, AJ, Ingmar. Everyone doing okay? Team.
Hey, Dale.
How you doing, Ryan?
Morning, Coach.
Good, mate. You?
Morning, Blake. So, I'm looking for maybe a dollar pullback. I'm trying euro on turnaround Tuesday. Let's see. Thinking maybe just arithmetically we take out 12 and a half, 12 even. We could trade 11.50 or so.
Well, so we traded within about 10 pips of the long-term 618 retracement this morning. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the top, but I'd like to see a reaction in both cable, pullback in both of these. This looks like a lower high in cable too so far, and then make one more charge. And that could be a more important turning point, but it could happen here too. I was looking for 112 a long time ago, and we're well above it, but I think could stretch. You have anything in the 13s, Blake, on the euro?
Well, we have the 161% extension of the May highs to May lows, so it's basically the May range.
Yeah,
that comes in at 113.77. So I mean,
okay.
That's like more than 100 pips away. I guess if retail sales crap the bed today, I mean, we could try to trade up there this week, which is possible. Okay. It's a dollar breakdown. I mean,
so anything could happen. And the yen, Ryan, so it turned out to be a decent scalp buying it yesterday. I'm afraid to do it again here, but it's holding. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, it's. I was looking at the patterns this morning. We made just that higher high yesterday. Had a little look through 139, couldn't hold it. I tried a little hold trade 139.05 and got taken out at 90. The low today so far didn't get quite as low as 138, which means we set another higher low. So I think the market's a bit balanced. The sellers aren't willing to push it that much, and the buyers aren't that keen yet. So I think you've got to look at 138 and 139 and make your moves on that. If you get a break above and hold 139, we should be off.
Yeah, that's a great eye at 39 because look, two candles tried it, couldn't do it. So over 139, maybe we get that move to above 140 towards 41 or so.
Yeah, and if we break 138, we're probably going to have a look down around your blue line there in the 137s.
Well, that blue line was actually the breakout level from the line I had for the breakout, just against these two highs. Poke through it last week. Any news overseas in Europe about any news flow, cable, euro? Anything that we could sink our teeth into?
Yeah, nothing flow wise. There's been a bit of news for the UK in terms of inflation. Grocery prices fell for the first time in 3 years, so that's a little bit of relief possibly coming from for Bailey at the Bank of England. But then on the flip side, in the euro, we've had ECB's Not, who's one of the big hawks over there. He was out with some dovish sounding comments, or dovish for him, saying he's optimistic they'll see inflation at 2%. There's a risk of doing too much. So that's drawn things down a bit.
Yeah, he said looks like core inflation is plateaued. That's a pretty big statement for a hawk like Not, right?
Yeah, and then 10 minutes later, a French official came out confirming that they're going to hike electricity prices by 10% in August. So stick that in your core inflation pipe, Mr. Not.
Guys, this copper still looks vulnerable, doesn't it? I mean, we've had a couple tests up there, and
that little double top that you see up there, that is a 618 retracement of that Yeah, I can
Yeah,
show you, but
of
those two
this
peaks are at,
decline,
of not the bigger decline, but that's a smaller one. Yes,
this
that
one.
one. Yeah, it's a 618 retracement. It's double top there already. Rejected it last week. We were talking about that last week in the ForexAnalytix community. So yeah, it does not look good. And the Aussie, to be completely frank here, is rejecting the 69-cent level. So it looks very similar to copper. So
Yeah, and Kiwi, they've really hit pretty hard. Looks a lot
yeah,
like
but you got
Aussie
New
got
Zealand CPI tonight. Well,
Okay.
tonight for us, but tomorrow morning. So we there's a lot of inflation data coming out this week. Not only do we have Canada today, but we have New Zealand, we have South Africa, we've got a few different Japan a little bit later on Friday. So some inflation data coming out this week.
Look, I noticed this last night. Look what contained WTI. The daily.
That was my chart. That was my chart of the day, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, great minds, kindred spirits, think a lot. But anyway, that looks, if we get through this, you've got mid 80s, but
it's also 127% extension of the entire range that it sat for the last 2 months. Yeah. So not only did it hit the 200-day moving average, the 127% rejection, but then the dip back below 75 put us back in the range, and that puts the onus on the downside now, because you had everybody trying to play the long side on a break above 75. They got it stuffed at 77.25. So now you got people that are stuck long that were chasing it. So that's the risk for bulls now.
Yeah, better hold 71 is the way it looks to me. And very good at traders' intuition about let me quote you. Yesterday morning, I don't think we're done yet. I'm not convinced that we're going lower in the S&Ps, and we've made new highs. So how do they look to you now? Same?
Yeah, well, I mean, you were pointing out, or we were talking about your possible 3 drive, and again, I'm not sure if it's a 3 drive or not, but
I mean, like this 1, 2, 3 on the 4 hour.
No, I was looking at more of the
daily.
Yeah, it's the entire chart that you're looking at right there, right? So this
1, 2, 3, yeah,
right, and it's divergent. So you would think that we're at a 3 drive, but that I mean,
I thought we were last week. I mean, it's gotten a little bit stretched for a 3 drive. One thing I can say though, for the first time, and it's still pretty good momentum, is that the 4 hour did not confirm. See, back here it confirmed on this first drive here, and it didn't here yesterday. That's the first time that we've had, all the way up. It was confirming until yesterday. So just the first one on the 4-day. We had divergence on the daily, but it's over 70, and now the shorter term time frames are starting to line up with the daily. If you take a 3 drive off a daily, it doesn't mean it's going to be there right away, because there still may, on a 3 drives to the top, have to be some distribution. And sometimes you could get a fractal on the 3rd drive where, here's, 1, 2, 3, and on the 3rd you end up with a little 1, 2, 3 in this area. But anyway, that's the first time it diverged up there.
I mean, the one thing that we have today is we have retail sales, and as we talked a little bit about yesterday, I think it's going to be a big deal moving forward. Seeing how the consumer is if this these inflationary pressures that we felt over the last year and a half or whatever it is really starting to bite. There's a lot of speculation whether it'll affect the consumer at this point. I look around, and I don't know, Ryan, about where you live, and Dale, where you live, and where all you guys and gals live around the country.
Everything still looks busy to me.
Everything does. I don't see a contraction in the consumer, not behaviors, not where I'm at. But again, I live in a place that it's kind of a little,
Affluent.
it's a little bit more affluent than most
Yeah.
places, but I was in the Redneck Riviera last week, and there's people out there spending money, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I don't know.
Well,
Ryan, what do you think?
Yields say things are slowing down. I mean, pretty negative action, and looks like we'll close under the breakout this time in the 10-year yield. What do you think, Ryan? Do things still look busy in the UK?
Yeah, still very busy in the UK. I don't think the consumer yet is facing any sort of problems. I think it might be coming though. One of the things, headlines from yesterday was that people getting turned down for loans in the US was at the highest in 5 years.
What kind of loans? Auto loans?
Yeah, just general loans.
Okay.
They're not passing the tests, and firms are getting a bit more cautious about lending to people.
Lending standards have tightened. Yeah. They've tightened.
The tightening financial conditions we've been speaking about. So you've got the US consumers who've drawn down COVID savings. You've now got people can't get loans. You got Ford knocking 10 grand off their electric vehicles. There's just these little signs popping up that might start to pick up and just tell us that there is some pain coming for the consumer. But I'm not expecting them to roll over today. Numbers can be volatile, of course, but I think some of these signals suggest that something's coming down the line.
I just wanted to point out, here's like the 21st of June. So we had this huge move up in S&Ps, right? And here's a low, same time. And we haven't made a new low in VIX. We're not that far away, but we had that blow off and we're still putting in a higher low. So I don't know if that means anything to you. I think we should be at 12 with what the market just did. So there's still people buying calls. We'll see.
I mean, just to mention, like daily sentiment index for VIX, I believe it is at single digits. No, it's not. It's at 11. So it's pretty extreme right now. Dale, you want me to take over from here?
Sure. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. So,
I'm tapped out of ideas. That's it for the rest of the day. Now
we got some ideas. We got some ideas here. Like I said, we got not only do we have retail sales here in the US, which we're going to be watching here very carefully. And Ryan, how important do you think retail sales are in your view for today?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important if there's a big variation, because the market's jumping around on whether the Fed hike one more time or two more times, and this data is going to play into that. But as we've seen of late, the last couple of weeks, every time we get good US data, dollar rallies for 5 minutes and then gets hammered again. So I don't see that changing. We saw that last week. Dollar got sold off on the CPI. Then we got that bounce on the Michigan, and it got hit again. So look for that theme. If you get a nice, strong, solid number, if you can't bust your levels for the dollar, then you got to maybe look to go the other way.
Yeah, I think you do have to sell dollars into strength at this point. But the dollar is actually looking stronger against certain currencies, and I'm gonna take you guys over to, since Dale, you brought it up a little earlier. I'll just go ahead and show you guys here. If you look at copper, right, here's that 618 retracement rejection, right? Yeah. Double top rejection. It really plays double top, a little bit lower, then we're going to get some serious downside if we really start breaking through this low here. But big rejection of the 618. Then you look at the the Aussie. I mean, you got the Aussie rejection at 69 cents. You have a bear flag that is and we had the RBA meeting minutes, little bit more dovish slant. At first glance of the meeting minutes, I glanced at them, and then I had to run off and do some family stuff. But when they first came out, there was a debate whether the RBA was going to keep rates unchanged or possibly, raise rates. The Aussie spiked back up a little bit as a result into what we would see as flag resistance. And then we're out breaking lower. I mean, and that's something that behavior in a risk on commodity Antipodean type of currency, it really lends me to believe that we're going to have some downside here. Again, this is where you start look at the dollar is actually firmer against the Aussie, maybe not so much against the euro or the sterling, but against the Aussie. If we see a little bit of a dollar recovery, it doesn't take much. I mean, if you get, like, let's say our retail sales numbers, Ryan, let's say they are a little stronger and we get the dollar pushing back above 100, that could be enough to drive this Aussie back down to 67 cents, 67 and a half, just with a little move like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, agree.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that I think that we should be paying attention to. It's not people get wrapped up in looking at the dollar thinking, hey, the dollar is getting hit. It's a dollar story all across the board. No, you got the euro that's pressing higher into the 618 long-term 618 retracement. This is, by the way, if you go over to the weekly chart, you can see how important this is. All right, that is the January or December 2020 highs to the lows in 2022, and just for reference, we're pressing higher back above a weekly trend line. That in itself, the euro's nice and bullish. You got the sterling above 130, which looks still very strong, but they're not. It's not all currencies are doing that. You're seeing the Aussie dollar. It's like can't get out of its own way. The Kiwi, we have inflation data tonight. We can't get it back above 64 cents right now, and we major rejection last week. So when you look at the dollar index, just remember it's not the dollar as a whole. There are certain currencies that look better than others, and there's certain currencies that look worse than others. Like it's hard to be short sterling right now. I mean, I know you just did the trade-off with Michael Brown over there at Trader X today, and I haven't had a chance to watch the show yet because you guys just filmed today, right?
We filmed yesterday.
Oh, you filmed yesterday. Well, so did you? I mean, you both are in the UK. Did you have any conversations about the sterling? I mean, the thing's damn strong. So, what are your thoughts here with the sterling?
Yeah, no real change to yesterday and what I've been saying for a few days now. You've got to be watching this carefully over the data. We get the CPI data tomorrow. That's either going to go the right way or it's going to go the wrong way. If it goes the wrong way, i.e. stronger, the reaction in the pound is going to be very telling. I am suspicious that we significantly make new highs on strong data, particularly, cables aside, that data, strong data, and we could be at 132 in a flash, such as its nature. But other pairs, obviously euro sterling, I'm long. If the data's strong and we can't get close to that low that we saw down near the 85s, I'm gonna stick on more longs to sit in, because I think that's a decent enough stretch point. If we're around here, 85, 80s going into the data and it's strong, probably might get down to 85.50, 85.30 perhaps. And if that's it, I think that's, for this pair at least, that's the end of pound strength.
It's interesting because we did have a false breakdown in the euro sterling, and it's been leading to just a consistent grind higher over the last week, whatever, in the euro sterling. I like the play. I think that's a great play. Maybe not against the dollar, but playing it against the euro. But then again, you got comments like you saw today from Knott that is trying to talk down the euro a little bit here, right? And so yeah, it's interesting. Hey, on the Flow show today, and I know you're a one-man show at the moment. You got Stelios. Did he show up today? I know he's poolside.
No, unless his laptop's waterproof. No, he was in the pool again.
Hey, Ryan, I know you're in the trade. If you pull up the daily on EG, Today's high is right at the 50-day. Yeah,
Sure is.
rejected at short time.
Yeah,
short term.
I've got a level right there at 86.10 as well. It's
Okay.
one of those intermediate on off levels.
Okay.
So
through there, it it has a lot of room. But
Yeah, look
I
at
don't
the
know,
618s right there too.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah,
traffic at 86, 45,
Yeah.
50-ish through to 70, and then I've got a fib coming off that what is it, the May high? Yeah.
yeah, just wanted
no,
to
yeah.
give you a heads up in case you didn't see it, but of course you did. All
Thanks,
right.
mate. Always appreciate it, because if I miss it, I know you've got it.
Next, yeah, we have each other's backs here.
Yeah.
Well, let's since we have Canadian CPI coming out, I don't know how much you talked about that on the Flow Show, Ryan. Like I said, I know
Stelios
you're
is tweeting. He's on vacation, but he's tweeting.
Who's
Okay.
Stelios? Well,
Yeah.
it's easy to tweet
More
when you're
full
poolside, right? You just you stick your phone out there and you can do it. Anyway, we got Canadian inflation today. Expected a tick up in CPI month over month. The year over year CPI, like the trends that we've seen in the US, are expected to drop a little bit from the previous print at 3.5%. The headline number is supposed to drop to 0.3% from 0.4%. And then we have the raw materials price index also slated to come out. Any thoughts on inflation data that you've had this morning on the Flow Show, Ryan?
Yeah, well, I think I thought the BOC was a bit of a coin toss over whether they would hike or not, considering inflation came down 100 pips last month. Expecting 3% for the headline number, which puts them at the top of their target. Remember, the BOC run a 1 to 3% target range for inflation. So if you get a 2 handle on it, I think that's going to draw out a lot of hike expectations for another hike. And the market is expecting another hike from those guys. So that'll take some steam out. We could see a decent rally in Loonie, in dollar CAD on that basis. Conversely, if you get a stronger number, then those hike expectations are going to be, right back in. We're probably going to move down to 131 again.
All right. Well, I'm bullish the dollar CAD. I've been playing it off the long side as we hit a brief new low, but you can see this channel support. Really, one of the things that I like about the Loonie on the long side is that I am also a crude oil bear at the moment. I think that crude can trade back below 70. I actually think crude, as we head into the second half of the year, is going to have a little bit of a struggle. Disinflationary pressures, not only in the U.S. but globally. Possibly we dip into more of a recessionary type of period. Crude oil is going to be one of those unintended consequences of a global-ish recession. So therefore, I think the dollar Canadian's an actual good play to the long side. This is a 50% retracement here at 132.40. So if we get above last week's highs right here, that should be an upside breakout, allow us to trade back up towards some of these resistance levels up around the 133, 134 level. So I'm going to be watching the dollar CAD rather carefully. Also, we should take a look at the Canadian yen. One of the things about the Canadian yen is we had a drop to the 50 DMA. And you've seen a bounce in all the other yen pairs. I did a YouTube short yesterday about the euro yen stalling at the 618 retracement, which it did, and we're pulling back from that. But you see how like the euro yen's bounced, sterling yen found some support here at this channel support. Aussie yen is already it bounced pretty aggressively. It reversed. Talked about this on the trade-off. Trade-off Australia last week. I sold it, and I'm still short actually 80 pips ago. But short the Aussie yen once it hit previous support, but you can see how it's already rolling over. Kiwi yen, same thing, rejected 618. We're coming back down towards channel support 50 DMA. But look at the Canadian yen. It hasn't bounced at all. And the reason why I point that out is because if we get some weak inflation data the Canadian yen may really come under pressure because it hasn't bounced. Like you look at all the other yen pairs, they've bounced and they're already heading back down. The Canadian yen, no bounce. And we start getting a foothold below these lows. You're going to see that one move lower. Another Canadian currency that you should be watching is the Euro CAD. I mean, look at that thing. That thing has been a ripper. You know, that thing broke out a week and a half ago, and it hasn't really looked back since. You know, I would argue that we're up against some resistance right now, but you know, we're not even actually on fib levels right now. We're in between. So, you know, I don't know if we see weak Canadian data. I think there's a lot of Canadian trades that look great. And Charles said, and fires are still going. Yeah, and didn't you post something, Ryan, about the Canadian fires yesterday? It was a statistic that was really like
the whatever it is, 2 months of fires have wiped out 14 years of cutting carbon emissions
globally.
Oh, wow.
No, just for Canada.
For Canada, that's just it's crazy. You know, if you guys are in, you know, in Canada, obviously, or in the Northeast United States, I can only imagine how bad the air conditions are. The air condition, not air conditioning, air quality. That's what I was looking for. Quality is right now. So, whew, man. Okay. Well, that's a very, very sad statistic. All right, let's talk really quick since we have, I don't know if Steve is around. Steve was driving in from, he had left already. He was, speaking of fires, he was driving in from the, what's the part of Greece? He had to avoid all the fires and drive around the fires. He was driving all night yesterday. So trying to avoid the fires in around the Athens area. So it's just kind of a shit show.
The world's on fire.
It is, yeah, dude. Well, I mean, I could complain about hot heat over here, but man, I think it's a global issue right now, not just a we're an Arizona issue, which we've obviously made a lot of headlines around the globe recently.
Record highs today here they're talking about.
It's like we've been over 110 degrees for like a month now. It's crazy. Anyway, all right, we have also retail sales. What's your best play right now, Ryan, for retail sales? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to keep an eye on dollar yen, see what that does. If I might tap a little rally above 139 again. Well, we're a bit far away, but you never know.
Yeah, that 200-day moving average. Remember, it provided some support down here. So if we get a dip down, if it's a weak number and we get down to 137.25, just understand the 200-day moving average is down there. I'm telling that to everybody. Obviously resistance on any move is probably like 140. I do want to keep an eye on the euro just because the euro came within 10 pips of a weekly 618 retracement today. So it hit new highs, rejected. So I think that's worth noting. Obviously the Aussie would be a nice candidate for, stronger retail sales. It's going to weigh on sentiment here in the US. It should strengthen the dollar. It could weigh on risk a little bit if retail sales come under pressure. So I think the Aussie looks like a decent short. So we'll be keeping an eye on the dollar yen, the Aussie. Dale, you have any thoughts here? We have less than a minute, but any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking for a dollar rebound. So obviously, whatever the news is, if the dollar sold off, I'd look to buy it.
Okay, we have yields over here, S&P over here. Dale, I'm going to put your dollar index right here, and I'm going to put it on a 15-minute chart so we can see the instant reaction. Here's the dollar, and then let's go over to ForexAnalytix. We're going to grab the data flash. We'll be able to see all that data as it comes in. This is similar to like if you one of the functions that I used when I had my Bloomberg terminal, a couple of years back, and for those several years, is just looking, economic data when it comes out and looking at the economic calendar. Well, you can get that with ForexAnalytix through data flash right here. So the dollar is to the left, S&P is right in the middle. We have yields over to the right. Let's see what the dollar response is going to be. And we have the dollar CAD. So I'm going to be, or the Canadian data. So I'll be flipping it over to the Canadian shortly thereafter. So Canadian CPI, retail sales, few seconds. Here we go. CPI is
Soft.
weak out of Canada.
Yeah,
Soft.
CPI.
Retail
Soft
sales
retail.
soft.
Yeah, so the dollar's selling you off here.
Yeah,
Not
well,
much.
you know,
It's a
looking
small
for
miss.
the core number. Did all the data come out? Am I missing just a
No,
couple?
just the main month-on-month 0.2 versus 0.5 expected. Prior 0.3 got revised higher, so it's a bit of a mixed data. Waiting for
not
the rest of it to
impressed.
drop.
So we were just looking at
go.
the
Control group hot 0.6% versus 0.3% expected. So that should take off the dip.
That looks heavy. The guppy.
Yeah, it's right on channel support. You can see the Canadian yen just perked up a little bit, but it's we got a weaker dollar, kind of feeding into it too. The dollar yen is the one that's kind of breaking a little lower here on that number. As we were pointing out, the 200-day moving average is not very far away. So just keep that in mind, that if you dip down below, like let's say 137.50, you're going to get into that danger zone for the 200-day moving average. Like I said, the dollar CAD just popped right back up, with the Canadian data, but not a huge response. Euro spiked back up towards highs, but remember, we are within just a couple of pips of that key resistance at 120 or 112.85, which that's what I have it marked up as. So somewhere between here and 113, pretty big.
The metals were hot earlier before the number. Did they extend their gains?
You know what? You had a little. We actually completed our inverted head and shoulder pattern today, Dale.
At
just
70. Okay.
Yeah. Well, right here at 70. Well, 75. We went as high as 72. So, as if you're in the ForexAnalytix community, this morning, here's the,
and silver's struggling up around this level too. So, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we just, we talked about it.
Blake, I don't know how people go without, this kind of stuff that, that they get the day before it happens in the market, like that Fib level in gold. It's invaluable.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that we talk about in the ForexAnalytix chat room. You can see all of our conversations. That's just from this morning. But if you want to be involved in the ForexAnalytix community, come join us. That's where myself and Ryan and Stelios and we're all at throughout the course of the day. And yeah, this when you reach 1792 or 1972, which is $3 away from what I had it measured at, it's close enough. What do you say, Dale? Close enough for government work?
Yeah, anything is close enough for government work nowadays.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, right? Close enough is okay. Close enough is okay.
And if you've been trading for less than 5 years and you're not in some community and you're not here, you're not taking it seriously. That's my view, because you have to be immersed in it to get good, especially that first handful of years. So you want to become part of ForexAnalytix community, find somewhere else to go, but be around good traders, because you rise to their level. Okay, don't be intimidated by that they have experience and skills. Consider that an advantage for you to take advantage. You got
That's right. Hey, by the way, do you see this reversal in the dollar yen right now? Holy cow!
Yes.
Yeah, just turn like a bat out of hell.
I had to jump on that at 87. That core number is what did it for me.
Nice, Ryan. So that's a nice reversal. It's a higher low too. So I think that we're going to see 41.
Yeah, and speaking of which, if you guys want to see something, this is Ryan as he's trying to do a show with us, and he's in the trading room, marking up his entry in the dollar yen as we speak. So this is where, I mean, hey, you want to see my open positions? They are in the trades room. So if you want to see,
it's just a hobby, find another one that's less lethal.
No backwards trading here. No after the event stuff.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
We do it live.
Is your guest here?
I don't know. I sent out a message. Forex guest hunter is looking for JJ. If you're here, JJ, let me know. Otherwise, we'll have to reschedule you. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to answer me in chat.
All right.
I
Well,
have you up
while we're
here.
waiting on JJ, take a look at the dollar CAD. Speaking of, now
Yeah.
you're getting a little bit of a double whammy, right? You're getting the dollar
Yeah.
strengthening, and you've got weak Canadian data. So you got the dollar CAD is, trading at highs of the session. Break above 132.40 would open up some upside, I would think. But Ryan, as far as the dollar yen, what were you seeing that told you that it was time to get long dollar yen at 137.87, where you got long? Ryan, he's here.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe put the mute on.
Yeah, he might have put the mute on.
Hello, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was typing away. I don't want it clacking while you're talking. That first drop, the 0.2, was soft, and that's what hit the dollar. And then it took some time, but that 0.6 core number, that's what did it for me. It's like, no, that's not a weak number, so I'm lifting that.
Got it.
Could hit it.
Got it. Okay, so there you go. And so the core number was the number right here that
so we called it pretty good for people, and they had
right here.
time and said buy a break in the dollar. Ryan bought the break in yen, short the euro. If you were in F.A.C.E, so you had every opportunity to have some pretty good guidance today. Hope everyone did okay. I'm giving up on JJ, but not everyone here in the crowd. So we did our job today, Blake, here in F.A.C.E.
That's right.
Like we do 90% of the time, I think.
But we're here every
trouble.
day. We're here every trading day, and we have been for the last, how long you been with me now, Dale?
6.5 years. We're like the Lou Gehrig of FX. Okay, we're Iron Men. We're Iron Men here, guys. So anyway, I don't think JJ's here. So
all right,
we could probably scratch him for today. And the interview I'm really looking forward to is to talk to Eric on Thursday.
Is that Eric Bosmajian?
Yeah. Because he's still pretty negative on the economy, and he still thinks the market's going to go to new lows. Plus, we have Adam Button tomorrow. I want to ask Eric what he goes through, like I do. I've been negative S&Ps, basically, I don't know, 43, 40 or something like that. And wonder how subscribers act when he has been saying avoid risk, and there's been this type of move to the upside, opportunity loss if you stayed out, losses if you faded it. How it is for a young guy to go through this. You and I have gone through it before for quite some time, but I'm wondering what it's like. Well, you've said the economy is bad, and we're Mark, stay away from risk, and watching the market put on a parabolic move to the upside. It's not easy to, when that's your business, is to direct people correctly. And it's gonna be interesting to hear what he says about that.
Yeah, it will be. He is he deals with a lot of corporate clients, and so that's when you, I guess if he may not be trading, or maybe he's not dealing with an institutional person, but if he's dealing with a company and telling them, hey, we're heading for a recession,
hard landing.
Hard landing, like how, and you're trying to manage your business around his ideas. You make some hard calls as a business owner.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, I'm going to cut off, spending here, and I'm going to, not hire here. And, I got my guru over here telling me to do this and that and the other thing. Yeah, it's, there are
a lot of smart guys that have been saying the same thing, like Lakshman from Business Cycles Economic, I forgot, CRI. He's been around for a long time, and he's still talking hard landing.
It's Ryan. I don't know if it was you.
Oh, you know what? JJ's here.
Oh, JJ is here. Okay.
Yeah, so we could get a short one in.
I was just gonna share with you guys really quick, and I'll let you take over with our guest. Yesterday, at some point, it's gonna take me a while to kind of go back here. Ryan, was it you that pointed out all the bears, or was it Simon? Simon pointed out like all the people calling for recession. There was a big chart.
Yeah, Simon.
That was put, yeah, and then you had your, David Rosenberg's and your what's his name, Goonlock on there, all sorts of people on there. On yesterday, I have to go find the chart here. It's somewhere from yesterday. I have to go back and look at this. Is all the chatting that you guys get in our chat rooms. I don't know. It's even before then. It was really interesting because there are a lot of big names that have been calling for a recession nonstop this year, and it's been kind of slow to come, right?
Dalio, all of them.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Can you help me promote it? It's under MA Alha JJ. It's
I'll see if I can find him. MMA. Found it. Got it. Okay, let me see. Okay, promote. Here we go.
Thank you, Blake.
Thank you, Ryan. Comes over.
No worries, mate.
And
thanks, Ryan, for all the coverage. I know. You're probably anxious to have Stelios and Cayman back, and they're both probably going to hit you at the same time, right?
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. It's good fun.
It's like I always, whenever I do shows by myself, Ryan, I always feel like, like somebody's yelling at me, like, dance, monkey, dance, tap dance, baby.
I'm not quite at the level I need to get inflatable copies of Stel and K-Man to put in the room with me. But getting there.
Hey, JJ, you have to accept the promotion.
Yeah.
He declined to be promoted. He declined.
I've been trying to do it, and
maybe it's not him. Maybe it's not him. He doesn't want. Maybe it's not him. He declined. So, okay. Well, even if it's not JJ, this was your opportunity to be interviewed on F.A.C.E, whoever you are.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to take it?
I think he decided to bow out. So
all right.
All
right, buddy. Hey, you know what, guys? It's I'm enjoying working with you two guys. We used to do 3-4 men faces most of the time, and gives everyone enough time to really express themselves. Love working with you guys that are here, and the guys miss them when they're gone. So great job today, Blake and Ryan, in directing people ahead of the news on how to react to the news.
Thanks, mate. And right back at you. It's been an extreme pleasure to work alongside you, mate.
Okay, guys. So everyone, hey, thank you, Blake, and everyone. Really take me seriously. If you really are in your first 5 years of trading, find a community with great traders and you'll rise to their level. Don't stay around mediocre guys with the same skill level as you to be the best of that group. Challenge yourself to go into the NFL and be a pro. Okay, so that's a wrap. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys. See you, Blake. See you, Ryan.